Crimson Trace announces Link, the world's first wireless laser and white light system, combining a green laser and 300 lumen light with instinctive activation for AR-type rifles. Link, smart, simple, secure. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, Second Amendment Foundation's big win in a lawsuit filed against the Department of Justice on behalf of Cody Wilson and Defense Distributed's free speech rights related to 3D files and other information that may be used to manufacture lawful firearms. Plus, how to get into gunsmithing as a career. Call in with your questions, comments, and range reports to 866-TALK-GUN. And now, here's Tom Gresham.
All righty, welcome to Gun Talk. I am Tom Gresham. Big day. It's a big day. We have a lot of news to share with you today. A lot of things are going on the Second Amendment front. Where we talk about some guns and also talk about gunsmithing. Is that a worthwhile career path? I think you're going to find that conversation really interesting. I think there's probably a real need for gunsmiths. We'll talk about that in just a bit. But first, we have tons of information, tons of things going on. Oh, yeah, and by the way, if you'd like to join us, it's really easy. Just give us a holler. Pick up the phone, give us a call, 866-TALK-GUN or Tom Talk Gun gets you in here. And yes, by the way, I'm Tom Gresham. I'm your host. The show's called Gun Talk because we talk about guns, everything that has to do with guns, types of guns, handguns, shotguns, rifles, ammunition, reloading, gun storage, gun safety, training, hunting, you bet. And always, you can't talk about guns without talking about politics. We talk about the Second Amendment. So there you go. Joining me right now to talk about this news, I'm not even going to steal his thunder. I'm going to let him tell what just happened. Alan Gottlieb, he is the founder and the executive vice president of the Second Amendment Foundation. Alan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Tom. It's great to be back with you.
It is, and it is a big news. We've been looking at this thing coming, waiting, and finally it happened. Rather than me explain what just happened with this major victory, I'm going to let you pick up the ball on the Defense Distributed news.
Okay, sounds great to me. The Department of Justice and the Second Amendment Foundation reached a settlement in SAF's lawsuit on behalf of Cody Wilson and Defense Distributed over free speech issues related to 3D files and other information that may be used to manufacture lawful firearms. This was actually a suit that started under the Obama administration in May of 2013, when they tried to, the Obama administration tried to control public speech under the export laws under the International Traffic in Arms Regulations, known as ITAR, an old Cold War law intended to control exports of military articles. Cody put his plans up on the Internet, and he got a Defense Department letter saying that take him down or we're going to prosecute you and put you in jail and fine you millions of dollars. Cody came to the Second Amendment Foundation, and we filed suit. We started out trying to get a preliminary injunction in the trial court. They denied us. We went to the Fifth Circuit. They denied it, but sent it back to trial court for trial. And the trial court judge said, "Can't you guys settle it?" So we were obligated to send the Justice Department a note saying, "Let's try to settle it. Here's what we want." And we thought they'd say, "Hey, no way, man." And the Justice Department said, "Okay, let's work it out and settle it." And they finally signed all the documents between the Defense Department and Department of Justice and the State Department, saying that, okay, you can publish these files now and people can download them in code in their computer, buy a 3D printer, and make guns for themselves in their own home. That's a very big win, and it even got bigger because, quite honestly, Tom, in the memorandum that the government had to sign, they had to admit that any semi-automatic firearm up to 50 caliber is not inherently a military weapon. And so therefore that's how they got declassified, which that includes, like an AR-15. So when our opponents say that an AR-15 is a weapon of war or a military gun, that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, the U.S. government says, no, an AR-15 is not a military weapon. It is right there in black and white. Let me back up just to explain. What Cody Wilson was doing was putting files on the Internet, the kind of files you need if you're going to use them in a 3D printer or even a computer-controlled what am I thinking of? Machining. Basically, it's like
yeah.
What am I thinking of? It's not quite CAD. I mean, I understand CAD, but it's a CAD drawing, but you use it in a machine, computer numeric controls, CNC machine. So, and there are like desktop versions of that now. So the files themselves are what the government said you can't put the files, these digital files, online. And to your point, Alan, what ITAR was all about was trying to keep sensitive military arms from being sent overseas way back in the Cold War time. But it has been expanded to the point where people who make rifle scopes, for instance, are deathly afraid of doing anything that puts them in violation of ITAR, and some companies have been fined tens of millions of dollars under this law. So this is a huge win.
It's a giant win. It's maybe one of our biggest wins ever. It's just really fantastic. Now, when Cody started this back in May of 2013, he had a gun called the Liberator, which is a plastic single-shot gun. Today, these files can make you an AR-15 lower receiver, a 1911 handgun out of metal. So technology's progressed a long way, and when the government's settling this, is now you can basically download the files starting in August from Cody, when they'll all be up there on the internet, and make your own AR-15 or your own 1911.
So the government decided that it would work with the Second Amendment Foundation and Cody Wilson on this, Defense Distributed. And in a very, I know I was surprised. I think probably everybody was surprised. The government just said, yeah, sure, we can work this out. What happened, Alan? What actually happened to make this transpire?
Well, I don't think they really wanted to work with us per se. I think what it was is they realized, Tom, that they were going to lose in court. And as a result, they didn't want to go through a couple of years of litigation and all the time, effort, money, and lose. And their legal counsel advised them, this is a case we really can't win. And so that's how we got it done. I mean, now in the process, the government has to publish all kinds of things on websites and revamp their laws. The ITAR is going to be shifted from the Defense Department to the Commerce Department.
That's a big thing.
That's a very big thing, especially for the whole firearms industry, who have been stymied by a lot of these ITAR regulations and the Defense Department. Now it's going to be surely just a commerce issue, and hopefully for import and export for a lot of our gun companies in the country, it's a tremendous win as well.
You know, I'm looking at this whole thing, Alan, and this is such a big thing. And look, I know you won't say it, but I'm going to say it. There were other firearms-related membership organizations who very, very much did not want Second Amendment Foundation to file this lawsuit and said so vociferously, privately, saying basically, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Once again, SAF comes in and says, you know, we're pretty sure we can win this, and we're going to make an effort at it. And it's kind of, I got to say, proving a lot of them wrong.
Yeah, in fairness, we got the pushback from another firearms-related group because they were lobbying the Obama administration to try and get these regulations changed, and not necessarily for putting the internet plans up on the internet to be able to make your own gun, but some of the ITAR regulations that hurt the firearms industry. And the truth was, we sat down and we felt, the Obama administration is not going to play ball with this. You're kidding yourself.
Right.
And so, it's not going to mess up anything you're really working on because you're not going to succeed with Obama anyway.
Well, that's a good point. And the fact that this has come through, and we've been kind of sitting on this, we knew it was coming for, I guess, 2 months or so. So what is the practical impact to your average gun owner on this whole thing?
Well, the practical impact is the fact that guns and gun culture, so to speak, are now here to stay forever. The government cannot ban guns. If they want to regulate gun stores and sales and manufacturers, whatever it might be, put them out of business, it still isn't going to prevent people from being able to get a gun because now the plans are on the internet. All you need is a 3D printer, and they're coming down in price all the time, and you can make the gun yourself in your own home, and it's actually kind of fun to watch it be made. So the bottom line here is now there's no way that they're ever going to be able to ban guns in America or probably anywhere in the world. And that's, something I think is what our Second Amendment Foundation is all about, is to make sure that there's, people always have access to firearms. And I think we just did it for posterity. And
I think you're right. And also, obviously, it's a First Amendment issue also, because this was banning a form of speech, which is really what the lawsuit keyed on, is First Amendment issues. Hey, Alan, let me get you to hold on just a second here. I got to go to a break, and then I know there's some news coming out of California that we need to talk about as well. If you'd like to be a part of the conversation, just give us a shout, 866-TALK-GUN, or give me a call at Tom Talk Gun.
Your everyday carry advantage. The new M&P Shield M2.0 pistol from Smith & Wesson has the enhancements of the M2.0 line with aggressive grip texture and a crisp and lighter trigger pull. Extremely thin and lightweight, you can carry it all day. Also available with an integrated crimson trace laser in 9 or 40. The M&P Shield M2.0. Visit smith-wesson.com.
In November, a few races for U.S. Senate could determine whether more anti-gun laws are in our future and whether your rights will be infringed. Will be infringed. Don't risk your rights. The future of gun rights is in your hands. Be a gun voter. #GunVote. For more information, visit gunvote.org. Gunvote.org.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
When someone leaves you their gun collection, you may want a few, but what do you do with the rest? How do you sell them? Who do you call? Well, I call Johnny Dury at Dury's Guns. Whether you're selling one gun or 500, they'll tell you what it's worth and write you a check. Simple, quick, easy, fair. I trust Dury's Guns. Give them a call. DurysGuns.com. We're talking with Alan Gottlieb from the Second Amendment Foundation. Just scored a huge win with Cody Wilson and Defense Distributed, with the Justice Department agreeing that, you can go ahead and put those files up for CNC machines, for 3D printing, the files that allow you to actually print or manufacture guns in your own home. Huge win. And I love the Cody Wilson line that says, gun control in the age of 3D printing is a fantasy. Alan, I mean, that's a big win. Also, I note that it seems like there's always something going on out in California with the push and the pull and the give and the take. Can you kind of bring us up to speed with, I see that they're withdrawing a proposal?
That, Tom, is not true. There's been some internet news stories that said that, but it's not the case. The hope is eventually that they couldn't just withdraw it because the legislature passed it and the Attorney General can't just withdraw it. But what happened here is they expanded their assault weapon ban laws to force you to register a gun that was not considered an assault weapon before, because you now have a bullet button or a way of changing magazines out quicker. And you had to register these, and they had the system to do it. You had to do it online. And the Department of Justice spent a fortune and had a lot of people working on this system, only to find out when it was the deadline to register your guns, or you become a criminal and subject to prosecution. You could end up in jail. The system didn't work, and you couldn't register your gun. So the Second Amendment Foundation, along with a number of California groups, Cal Guns Foundation, Firearms Policy Coalition, went to court and filed in state court a suit to enjoin it from being put into effect. And nobody could go to jail for this. We're in court right now. It's sort of like a bad version of a catch-22. The government required registration by a deadline, but the online registration failed and people couldn't register. They're required to obey the law, but the system broke down, making it impossible to obey the law. Now these people face the possibility of being persecuted, prosecuted. We simply cannot abide by that kind of incompetence, and so we filed suit in California to stop this.
So they said, okay, you have to go online to register your gun, but the website's down. Too bad. Basically.
Yeah, too bad. And some people think it may have been intentional because in this way they could go, round up people's guns and prosecute people and put them in jail. And we have an attorney general in California that isn't exactly gun owner friendly, to say the least, and a legislature that keeps attacking and finding new ways to pass, gun control schemes.
Well, no, okay, I'm looking at that. I'm listening to what you're saying. Of course, we always seem to be going back to California and the Ninth Circuit and all of that. And yet I see this ray of hope on the horizon in the form of Judge Kavanaugh being nominated for the Supreme Court. And there's something here that I think maybe people have not paid enough attention to. And yes, he had a really good dissent in an important case in D.C. in the Court of Appeals. And yes, he probably would vote as a constitutionalist. But it may be, and I'm just thinking about this, Alan, it may be that the most important thing is he changes the balance when it comes to actually accepting cases, because they need 4 justices to accept a case at the Supreme Court, right?
That's correct, Tom. And it might change that balance. We don't know for sure who or why we couldn't pick up the 4th justice to hear some of the key cases that we need to be heard. But I'm going to go back to a story going back to the Heller time before Heller got to the Supreme Court. The day the appeals court ruled in their decision in favor of Heller, knowing it was going to go to the Supreme Court, I happened to be with Anthony Scalia in Nuremberg, Germany. And while we didn't talk directly about the case, one of the things that the justice said to me was, Alan, it takes 4 votes to hear a case. It takes 5 votes to win it. If we don't have 5 votes to win it, there won't be 4 to hear it. So it could be that we didn't have the 5th vote. It could be we didn't have the 5th vote to win it either. There's no doubt this is a step in the right direction. It's positive for gun owners. It's very important for us to get Kavanaugh, confirmed, and it's so important to us. The proof of it is all the anti-gun prohibition groups in the country are opposing him and putting a fortune into trying to defeat the nomination. If they don't want him on the court, there's a reason we do.
Well, it's a good point. I see. Using her favorite word, Dianne Feinstein from California has said that Judge Kavanaugh's views on gun rights are extreme. I love it when they use that word, which to me just means he's a constitutionalist and he believes that gun control is a bad idea, generally speaking. So if that's extreme, I'm on board with that one.
Yeah, and I love that, Dianne Feinstein, who's all for banning guns and said that she'd ban them all, Mr. America, if I had the votes, I'd ban them all. Well, the bottom line is, don't you call that kind of extreme? This is an extremist calling somebody else extreme to hide her extremism.
Well, there is that. It's a case of, and by the way, I just saw a thing, it was listed on Drudge Report. I guess, is this possible that the Democratic Party in California is not backing Dianne Feinstein for her reelection?
Yeah, the executive committee voted not to support her. They want somebody who's more extreme and more radical than Dianne Feinstein, who, in California they have this jungle primary system, so there's going to be 2 Democrats on the general election ballot, no Republican. So they're supporting a Democrat that's totally Looney Tunes against Dianne Feinstein to show you how far left and how, out of the mainstream California Democrats have gotten.
Yeah, they said that she showed a dangerous tendency to be bipartisan. And I'm thinking, wait, Dianne Feinstein? Bipartisan? So you want somebody who is less bipartisan than her? You're right. Loony is the right word. Exactly right.
Yeah, loony is.
Hey,
loony.
Alan, this is crazy stuff. All right, so Where do we go from here as far as our gun rights? Because it looks like we're in a pretty good position in a lot of places, California being a little bit of a tough place, but it kind of looks like the road's looking pretty good right here.
Well, on a national level, yes. Federally, for sure. But there are some states that are still problems, particularly the left coast, Washington, Oregon, and California. And then places like, New York, New Jersey, aren't too swift in Connecticut either. So there's a handful of states that we have problems in, and we're concentrating our efforts in those handful of states very heavily right now.
I mean, I could see in my, if I had my druthers, I could see a case getting to the Supreme Court with Judge Kavanaugh, then Justice Kavanaugh, and the Supreme Court ruling that a ban on semi-automatic rifles is just as unconstitutional as a ban on semi-automatic handguns, and basically striking down all of these state bans on semi-automatic rifles.
Yes, that's really possible. And Second Amendment Foundation has a case right now in Cook County, Illinois, in state court that's going to go to the state Supreme Court. And, of course, you can appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court directly from a state Supreme Court. So we have one percolating on the way up right now.
Okay. So Judge Kavanaugh, that process, does he get confirmed before the midterms?
I think so. My guesstimation was from the date that he was nominated, it was going to take 66 days, is my best guess. And that would be before the midterms, and before, the more important thing is not before the midterms, the more important thing is before the next session of the Supreme Court starts in October.
Aha. So he'll be sitting on the bench. Very good. Hey, Alan, thanks for bringing us up to speed on all of this. And by the way, congratulations on the Cody Wilson Defense Distributed case. That is a massive win, and I think it will take a while before people can really process what that thing means.
Oh, I agree with you, Tom, and that's one we're real proud of. Thank you for your congratulations. Much appreciated.
Absolutely. Look, you take care, and we will see you at Gun Rights Policy Conference coming up in Chicago in September.
Yep. See you soon.
All right, take care. Yeah, by the way, if you'd like to be there, go check it out. Go to the Second Amendment Foundation's website, saf.org. Check out the Gun Rights Policy Conference. It's going to be in Chicago in September. I'm going to be there. A lot of the folks from the Second Amendment world are going to be there. You know what? You probably ought to be there, too. All right, open lines for you right now. Looking for range reports, your thoughts, 866-TALK-A-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Well, there's something I hadn't really given a lot of thought to. We had a visitor this morning. One of my neighbors up here in Idaho sends a picture this morning of a very large timber wolf a couple of miles from the house. We also had a moose walk around in front of the house. Crazy stuff going on. You know, we talk about bear guns. Wolf. Is that an issue? Is that a concern? Are wolves really a danger thing? Or is it just one of those things we get out of movies and such? I'm not sure we have any documented wolf attacks. You know, we do have documented mountain lion attacks. That's a real thing for sure. We got those around here too. Going back to my whole bear, now lion, now wolf protection handgun. How many guns should I be carrying anyway? What's your bear gun? 866-TALK-GUN. Raleigh's with us out of Fargo, North Dakota on line 3. Hey, Raleigh, appreciate you calling. What's on your mind?
Tom, got a story for you about U.S. Bank Corporation being another one of the major companies in the United States that has now become anti-Second Amendment.
What happened?
45-year customer of that bank here in Fargo. Perfect performance. Never missed a payment. Never paid a penny of interest. Flawless performance for 45 years. Back in March, I get a letter from them closing my checking account.
Now, your personal checking account?
Personal checking account, yes. Yeah. Didn't think too much about it since I don't really use it all that much. So I kind of brushed it off. 2 weeks ago, I get a letter from U.S. Bank Card Member Services and their parent company called Elon Financial Corporation. My 3 credit cards that I use quite actively closed in 30 days. They're going to be shut down in 30 days. No explanation for why. Nothing in the letter. All it says is that because of the terms of your card member user agreement, we have the discretion to close accounts at any time we want to. They shut me down, and I did a little research, and I found some articles where U.S. Bank is notorious for monitoring checking account and charge card activities, and they see anything that looks suspiciously gun-related, they're starting to close down consumers' cards and accounts randomly.
Really? So what do you, what have you been buying? Buy guns, ammo, that type of thing, just regular old firearms-related stuff?
Yeah, both. I'm a federal firearms license holder, and I do a fair amount of buying and reselling. Some of it through my card, some of it not. And somebody's been watching my transactions up the line, and apparently decided that there's a little bit too much gun activity going through my credit card, and they pulled the pin on me.
Wow. Now, have you contacted them to try to get them to give you a real explanation?
Well, these letters came Saturday, and last Saturday, a week ago yesterday, and I called Monday morning at 8 o'clock Monday morning, left a message. She never got back to me till 4 in the afternoon. And I spent 90 minutes on the phone with her trying to get an explanation of what this is all about. I knew the answer already, but I spent 90 minutes trying to get her to say it. She would never come out with an answer. I could tell she was looking at the screen and reading exactly what happened, but she was never going to tell me.
Interesting. So so what are they giving you? Some kind of generic, that's just a violation of our policy or something?
Yeah, they didn't say anything about violations or delinquencies or late payments. No reasons at all given, except there's a line in the letter. It says, referring to your card member user agreement, we have the discretion to close your account at any time.
So in other words, we don't have to tell you. We're just going to do it.
Exactly. And not only don't we have to tell you, we aren't going to tell you.
We aren't, no matter what. We aren't. We know better than to say it.
Right.
U.S. Bank Corp. Okay, and you said the credit card processing. You said that is Elon Financial.
Elon Financial Group has they've handed U.S. Bank credit cards off to this Elon Financial, and I've got a letter from each one of them.
Interesting. Okay. I think we may be getting pretty close to where we need to have, and I'm not a real regulations guy, and I'm certainly not generally a guy who says the government is the solution to things. But we may be at the point where Congress needs to have hearings on this to find out, to shine the light of public scrutiny on it, to say this is a form of shutting down free speech, association, a lot of other things going on here. And I think it's reached epidemic proportions to where if you're in the gun business or if you're basically just doing anything that has to do with guns, they are choking, as in Operation Choke Point, choking off your access to financial services. So where do you go from here? What are you going to do now, Raleigh?
Well, I filled out a form and mailed it to a P.O. box that was given in that letter, and describing what happened and describing my unhappiness about the way this was handled. And I'm waiting for a reply, which I have not yet received. So
okay.
Right now, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if you should hear back from them, please let me know, okay?
I will.
My guess is you're not going to get anything definitive. I doubt they're going to say anything that they would want to have quoted somewhere.
Exactly. You have an email address?
Yes, Tom@guntalk.com.
Okay. I will send
That'll
you
work.
Pardon?
That'll work. Look, I appreciate that. I'm sorry it's happening to you, but unfortunately it's happening to a lot of folks in the firearms world. And they basically, if you can't get financial services, you cannot do business. If you can't process credit cards, you can't do business. We actually had an outfit, and look, thank you for the call, sir. We had an outfit on last week who now they are proudly putting out information, or they are processing credit cards, rather, for those in the firearms business. I'll look that up and get that to you in just a minute. We'll give that information out again on who that company is. Quick break here. We'll be back with more Gun Talk.
Tactical professionals who put their lives on the line every day depend on Surefire. Since 1979, Surefire has designed, machined, and assembled the finest flashlights, weapon-mounted lights, hearing protection, and suppressors right here in the U.S. Surefire, offering a best-in-class warranty and customer service, and used by more military special operations, SWAT teams, and hard-use end users than any other brand. Surefire, American-built, American-strong. Visit Surefire.com. That's Surefire.com.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
Now at LibertySafe.com, you can buy a Liberty Safe at a great price and receive 12 months interest-free payments with 0 down and 0% APR, with some safes as low as $20 a month on approved credit. Peace of mind, lifetime warranty, and in-home delivery service. Go to LibertySafe.com now for 12 months interest-free payments with 0 down and 0% APR. LibertySafe.com.
Back with the 866 Talk Gun, get you in there. We were talking with Raleigh, and once again, somebody in the firearms business gets cut off. Their bank cuts them off. They cannot process credit cards. This is not happenstance. This is going on time and time again. This is orchestrated. Well, what do you mean, Tom? How can it be orchestrated? The anti-gun folks, the gun ban lobby is going to financial institutions and making this happen. This is an outgrowth of the Obama-era Operation Choke Point, where they said to financial institutions, you know, we're going to treat the firearms business like pornography or like drug deals. And if your institution is doing business with anybody in the firearms business, it's going to invite a lot of scrutiny from us, the regulators. You may not want to be doing that. And so financial institutions started dropping gun companies and gun stores and saying, well, we can't do business with you. We're shutting off your credit card. We're shutting off your checking account, just like that. And it's still going on, even after supposedly Operation Choke Point is gone. We had a guest on last week from Blue Dog. Website is yourbluedog.com, Y-O-U-R, yourbluedog.com, and they are a Second Amendment friendly credit card processing outfit. So I would suggest to anybody that's wanting to move over, take a look at Blue Dog, see what that does for you, because there may be others, but that's at least one that I'm aware of. All right. Line 2, Glenn's with us out of Washington State. Hello, Glenn.
I'm busy writing. yourbluedog.com. Yeah, my question is,
That's right.
I didn't realize I'd get on quite this quick.
That's all right.
I'm soon to be in the market my sister's selling her property next door, and there is no real fence between me and that property, and I'm going to be in the market for a trail cam or two, and I was curious, do you know if there's a place where you can go where they rate as far as quality of sensitivity maybe and picture and price for trail cams and night scopes?
You know, I don't know of a place that rates them as you're talking about, but many times what is, I was going to say just as good, but I actually think it's probably even better, is looking at the reviews and the comments by people who have purchased all of that stuff. So they'll say, yeah, this is working, or this did not work as well as I thought, or it works, but this or that. When you start reading the reviews, I think you end up with a lot of information. One site that I'm going to suggest you at least take a look at for this kind of stuff is opticsplanet.com. Lots of stuff about optics there, and you can look at reviews. Obviously, some of the regular online places you can look at. Even Cabela's, Browdell's, of course, has some of this, and you can look at the reviews there as well. But I think probably I've gotten to where, honestly, I pay attention to reviews, but let me throw this out. You also have to read the reviews and say, okay, this guy's a nut. There are people out there who post goofy reviews, or they didn't understand what the product was, or they didn't know how to use it, or I think some people just kind of like being curmudgeons when it comes to things. So if you're getting 90% of the people really like it, and you get a few that make you think, oh man, he had a real problem, you got to be careful about buying into the negative reviews. I've learned that one over the years.
Well, I know
you put your filter on it.
I watch a lot of YouTube, and I can't believe it. A lot of these movies I watch are great movies, and they'll have like 2,000 positive clicks, and they'll have 500 negative clicks, and it's like, how could you not like this movie? You know what I mean?
Trust me, we have thousands, literally thousands of videos up on YouTube, and boy, do I understand. You'll have almost everybody loves it, and then you get a comment from somebody that, I'll give you an example. There's weird stuff out there, okay? We're out there shooting video in Louisiana in the summer at a hot shooting range, and look, it's hot. We're just all melting.
Sure.
And, and we're shooting these cool guns, we're doing neat stuff with it, and then one guy posts a comment, and it just says, "You look like you stink." You go, what?
Wow.
So that it's like, okay, we probably did. We were shooting all day. We were sweating. We were obviously looked like we were sweating. Okay. But oh my gosh. Just going, really? That's what you get out. So, all of that to say, you have to apply your own filter to reviews, and certainly YouTube comments. Although we do have some fun.
Maybe somebody can call in and recommend some during your show today.
Sure. And the thing is, there are the trail cams, for instance, have gotten so much better than they were even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, certainly. They have now trail cams that will send the pictures to your cell phone, shoot video, get audio, get all sorts of stuff. So you can spend $70, you can spend $300. So you kind of got to figure that out as well. But yeah, if somebody has a recommendation on a place to go for reviews on optics, trail cams, or they want to recommend a particular trail cam, by all means, give us a holler. Look, I appreciate the call, sir. 866-TALK-GUN, get you in here. It's, I love optics. I was just about, this week, we were looking through binoculars yesterday, several of us here, and one guy had a real cheap pair, and we handed him a pair of Swarovski optics. And he went, "Oh my God, I had no idea the binoculars could be that good." Yeah, I know. That's the whole deal. Good optics, sometimes they're startling. 866-TALK-GUN. Are you an optics nut like me? Give me a call. Let me know what you like. Back with you, Tom Gresham, 866-TALK-GUN. Gary's with us out of Amarillo, Texas on 1. Hey, Gary, you're on Gun Talk. Maybe he is.
I'm sorry,
hey, Gary, you there?
Yeah,
yes, sir. Go ahead. Hey, Gary, go ahead.
Oh, I'm on the highway, and I thought I'd lost you there for a second. I'm going out of Amarillo. I just wanted to comment to the man that called in that has his FFL and his bank cut him off.
Right.
I would think, I don't even know, 15, 20 years ago, I got fed up with these national banks, and I quit doing business with them. I found a local bank, been in business over 100 years. And I'll bet you in North Dakota, Fargo, Minot, or down in Sioux City, the guy could get a bank and use that, and those people are going to be gun friendly, most likely. I mean, also, it maybe callers in could name credit cards they have that they feel pretty certain would not give the guy a bad rap because he does business in guns, like Cabela's or Bass Pro. I have both those cards.
Mm-hmm. That's not a bad idea. And I like your idea of a local bank. We're in the process, frankly, of moving a couple of checking accounts from the national type banks to a local bank where, here's my thing, and let me ask you what you think, Gary. You should know the name of your bank's manager, and that person should know your name, because you should be going in there every couple of weeks and saying hi, dropping in, how you doing, because when you need something, you don't want to, at that point, have to introduce yourself. Your bank should be personal, and we're also used to these big old national banks, and we buy into either the what's in your wallet nonsense, that we forget what kind of services you can get from a local bank. Gary, I think you're onto something here.
Do what?
See, I think you're onto something with the local banks. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, Amarillo National Bank has been here since the late 1800s, and I was always doing business because my parents did, was like a major national bank. Well, that changed hands, and then it changed hands again to a different national bank, and their policies always change, and I got fed up with that, so I switched over. Now, I have to admit, I've been negligent. I have not. I usually bank at a nearby branch bank of that, and I don't go downtown much because this branch bank's only about a block from me. But I need to do that. I need to go downtown.
But you know what? That you can still know the name of the branch manager. But it's a case of, I think you need to, all of us, and we're all busy, but we need to go into the bank, say hi. Who's the manager here? I just want to speak with you. I just want to tell you I appreciate what you guys doing here. Gary, I think, great job. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that call. I think it's a good idea. Go into the bank and say, who's the manager? I just want to say hello. I want to introduce myself. What other services do you have here? Do you guys do car loans? Do you do home improvement loans? Let's talk credit cards. Let's talk, in other words, why don't you help me as a bank? Help me figure out how you can serve me, and let's work together. And I'm telling you, man, there's just nothing like being on a first-name basis. Oh, but it's kind of like a doctor. Do you know your doctor's first name? And by the way, it's not doctor. You ought to know your doctor's first name. And if you don't, need to work on that too. It's just, that's another little deal. So just saying, as we say, just saying that there are things that we can do. And I love the idea of using a smaller bank. At the same time, I think we really do need some national attention to this orchestrated effort to crush the firearms industry through restricting financial services. I think it's a big deal. 866-TALK-GUN. What's on your mind? If it's about guns, we'll talk about it. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk.